Hey guys, it's Tricky Nick here. Nintendo Switch Sports is set to hit stores in just a few days, and as time has gone on, my opinion of this game has taken an absolute nosedive. Unlike a fine wine, the longer my thought juices have marinated in the idea of this game existing, the more issues I've begun to see with it. So join me today as I discuss the major issues I've begun to see with Switch Sports and why I think you should not buy the game. So the first issue I wanted to mention was the new sports mates. These characters look like they are a hard cross between cutesy and realistic art styles that come together to form a hollow corporate shell of a character. I think Nintendo thought that since Animal Crossing did so well, they should go all in on this new style. It doesn't land well here though. These characters are poorly designed and all look pretty much the same. I will commend the many different outfits that are available for the sports mates. However, they all still have the same general look, which isn't the case with the Miis. While sports mates have a decent number of customization options, Miis have a vast variety of customization options that allow for all sorts of Miis to be made. Not just ones with a cutesy look and dumb vacant eyes that I want to gouge out of their skulls. Sorry, I'll take a minute. Nintendo tried to catch lightning in a bottle a second time with sports mates, rather than just focusing on the Miis, and it ended up failing miserably. Even the Miis themselves look really weird now in Switch Sports, which kinda sucks. It feels like they were just an afterthought added in to tap into fans nostalgic for the Wii Sports franchise. Even the new central location, Spacco Square, feels more like a basic sports complex rather than one with any real personality. Spacco Square? More like Spacco Square. Get it? Cause square is also an insult? I'm funny! Woo! Woohoo Island did a much better job with this, and it has a lot more of a unique feel to it. Compare something like Sword Fight from Wii Sports Resort and Shambara from Switch Sports, and it'll instantly become clear what I mean. Sword Fight has an environment that adds to the intensity of it, with a huge crowd watching you atop a stage that is super high up. When you fall, you plunge into the ocean in a dramatic finish for it. In Switch Sports, you're in the same convention center looking trash and you fall into a pool that's like a 5-foot drop with no spectators to support you. At least when Wii Sports didn't have a central location, it took place in a variety of places that all felt different, rather than one big bland sports complex. Another issue that I've noticed was that the game comes bundled with the leg strap to play soccer with. You may be saying to yourself, that doesn't sound like an issue, what's wrong with free leg straps? Well, my dear friend, let me tell you. The only option for soccer at launch is a shootout minigame, not even full soccer. Since the leg strap can only be used for soccer, unless you're an insane person that decides to try to like bowl with it or something, the leg strap is basically useless until full-on soccer is added to the game. This shows Nintendo is trying to sweeten the deal of a $50 game with a criminally low amount of content at launch. Speaking of which, this game is only launching with 6 sports. That's the devil's number. That is unacceptable. There's a difference between adding content to the game after launch and releasing a game unfinished. Considering this game is going to have 6 sports total at launch, with 2 of them being super similar and 1 of them being useless until a later date, I'll let you figure out which one this is. This kind of lack of content is inexcusable, especially considering the price tag the game comes with. If you think that this isn't a ridiculously low amount of content for $50, look at Wii Sports. Sure, it only came with 5 sports, but A, all 5 sports had fun training modes and mini games to go with them, so there wasn't a lack of content, and B, it was bundled with a Wii! An entire Wii! Even if you want to buy Wii Sports now without that bundle, you can find it for like $20 online. So why 15 years later is a game that's $30 to $50 more than Wii Sports launching with only 1 extra sport? I don't think something as simple as volleyball is worth the extra dough. Especially when you look at Wii Sports Resort, which had 13 sports in it for the same $50 price tag. But wait, hold on, I know what you're thinking. Nintendo also showed off a 7th sport, that being golf. Guess what though? Golf's not going to be available till fall! Awesome! So not only is this game unfinished, but it'll be months before any new things are added. Even if you consider a fully finished soccer sport adding something, that's kind of just finishing a sport that's already in the game. But by far the most suspicious part of Switch Sports was the times for playtesting. 6 a.m. and 10:45 p.m. are really odd times to hold playtests. And I think the reason for this was because Nintendo doesn't want people getting a look at the quality of the game for fear of fans not liking it. Even if this time wasn't odd, Nintendo refused to allow any footage of the game to be shown from these playtests. That's pretty sus if you ask me. Now, I myself didn't actually get to play the test, but friends of mine who did had the general consensus that this game is a mixed bag. Some sports are fun, but others were pretty bad. At the very least though, most of them said that the game has great controls and no bugs. But that's a pretty low bar for Nintendo standards. Wii Sports had good controls, so why wouldn't Switch Sports? When there's only 6 sports though that aren't even even all fun, that doesn't bode well for a game. If a multi-billion-dollar company can't get 6 sports right, then the game is doomed from the start. Overall, Nintendo Switch Sports feels like a lazy, lifeless version of Wii Sports, representative of some of Nintendo's biggest problems in the modern era. It's not like Nintendo doesn't make good games, they still do. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is the most recent example of this. But then to go from a game as high quality as Kirby to an unfinished, bland sports compilation is so disappointing. I won't be purchasing this game, and I encourage you not to either. I made the mistake of getting Mario Golf Super Rush at launch, and it really should have been called Mario Golf Super Rushed. I won't be making that mistake twice. Refusing to purchase this game also shows Nintendo that they can't just make poor quality games and have everybody mindlessly buy them, which forces them to make higher quality games. If you're looking for a sports compilation, give Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort a try. They're much higher quality and have a lot more personality. Heck, you could even give Instant Sports a try on the Switch. At least the game is only $15 if it is crap. Nintendo Switch Sports is simply not worth the $50 price tag as it stands. And even if many updates are added, I have a feeling the game still won't be as loved as the Wii Sports franchise was. It's far more generic and lacking a lot of content. But to those of you saying, you can't judge this game before it comes out, it's unfair to the game. Applying that logic here means that you cannot praise this game or be excited for it either. It also means that the online playtests never happened. Anyways, those are all of my issues with Switch Sports. I definitely think Nintendo should have tweaked some big things about this game and put a lot more time into it before releasing it. But what do you guys think of Nintendo Switch Sports? Will you be buying it? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one.